Last year I paid 8,000 pesos for the Volaris Annual Pass, and since then I've used it more than 17 times. But was it really worth it? Did I really save some money getting this pass, or was it just a waste of money? That's what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm going to share all my flights with you, how much it cost me with the annual pass versus how much it would have cost me if I would have booked it in a normal way on the airline's website. So that's what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm also going to come with some pros and cons, who should get this and who should not get this. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I hope you'll stay along and watch the video until the end. So let's get into it. So what is the Volaris Annual Pass? Well, let me explain it to you here. So with the Volaris Annual Pass, you pay $500 or 8,000 pesos, and this will give you access to all the routes that is in the Volaris network. And Volaris' hub is Mexico City. So you'll see most of the flights getting out from Mexico City basically. But they do have a pretty big network, so you can fly from Mexico City to Los Angeles, you can take a flight from Chicago to Mexico, you can take a flight from Mexico City to Bogota, and you can also fly to so many different places inside Mexico. So there's like a ton of flights, and if you're a person that flies a lot from the US to Latin America, then this annual pass can be relevant to you. And with this pass you pay the annual fee, which I mentioned was the 8,000 pesos or $500, and then all you have to pay when you book flights for the next year is just the taxes. But these taxes can be a little high sometimes, and other times they're low. Sometimes they're $35, other times they're $115. But it really depends on where you're going from and to. So, but in general, the taxes is around $35 to $120 more or less. And then also there's a lot of rules. There's things like you can only book flights within 24 hours if it's domestic, and it's 72 hours if it's international flights. And also these flights doesn't include anything else than just your backpack. If you need a carry-on, it's easily $50. If you want to check in luggage, it's another $100, and the list goes on. So this is just for you going with a backpack. But of course, if you have to commute a lot, then it doesn't have to be a big problem unless you need to always travel with a lot of things. So that's just like the basics of this Volaris Annual Pass. And the reason why I decided to get this pass last year is because I had to commute a lot from Los Angeles to Mexico City, because at that time I was mostly in Los Angeles and my girlfriend in Mexico City. So this was a really good setup for me, and also I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm very flexible, and for that reason I felt, okay, this pass could potentially be used in many different ways. So that was my motivation for choosing this one. Before we get into all the calculations, can you do me one big favor and hit the subscribe button? That would be a huge help for me and make me continue making videos like this with travel hacks and other ways to save money. So please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and let's continue with the calculations. Thank you so much. So I took 17 flights. I have a list here where you can see. So it was mostly Mexico City to Los Angeles, but I did also take flights from Mexico City to Las Vegas. I took flights to Mazatlan. I took flights to Chetumal, and this was pretty much the places I went. And in total, this was around $1,100 in taxes. And this is because, again, as I mentioned before, sometimes it's $110 in taxes, other times it's $35. But my total cost was $1,140 in taxes, and then on top of that, the $420 in the annual pass. So my total cost for this was $1,560. And now let's have a look at how much this would have cost me if I would have booked these flights in the normal way, going on a website and booked this or through Google Flights or other places. So I went ahead now and looked at different flights. I took Mexico City, Los Angeles. I tried to look how much does it cost if you book 1 week in advance, or if it's 3 weeks in advance, and the same with the domestic flights. And what I got was a price of around $180 each flight from Mexico City to Los Angeles when I book within a week or two or something like that. Of course, it is possible to find flights that is, let's say, $150 or $140 if you book 2 months ahead. Maybe that is possible. But on the other hand, if you would book 1 or 2 days before, it would be $300. So I put the bar at $180. I don't think that's completely off. So that's what I put in these calculations. For the domestic flights, I put in $75. And this is, I looked at different flights. I took Mexico City, Chetumal, Mexico City, Mazatlan. And again, if you book in advance, of course, it is possible to find a flight that is maybe $50 and not $75. This is, I think, not completely off to put the price at $75 a flight. So with this in mind, the total cost of these 17 flights I did was around $2,500. And I think this is not completely off. I think that if I would have booked really ahead of time and planned really well, maybe you could get close to $2,000 for these flights. I think it would be difficult, but maybe possible. On the other hand, if you just book last minute, then it would probably have been $3,000 or $3,500. In this calculation, the savings is around $1,000 using the annual pass 17 times versus just going and booking the flights in the normal, traditional way. So I guess the reason why you watch this video is because you wonder if this is worth it for you. So I had a look at what is the break-even point. And if you would only do international flights, then you need to do at least 4 separate flights. So let's say 2 round trips, just to clarify. And with this, then you would be at the break-even point. So that would really be the bare minimum if you only do international flights. I'm not sure it really makes sense because, again, your conditions are not the best with not having so much flexibility, but this would be the minimum for you. If it's the domestic flights, you need to do at least 12 separate flights, 6 round trips before this makes sense. But again, as I told you, it needs to be a lot of flights. I don't think it really makes sense if you just do 12 domestic flights. I think if this have to make sense, you need to do, let's say, 5-6 international flights, and you also use it 5 to 10 times domestic. Then that's when you really start to see the big savings using the Volaris Annual Pass. So just to summarize the break-even point, you have to do 2 round trips, 4 separate flights, or you have to do 12 flights domestic, meaning like 6 round trips. That would be the minimum to do either the 4 or the 12, or you can mix them together before this actually makes sense. If not, I would not recommend getting the Volaris Annual Pass. So I just want to show you how this works with booking flights on Volaris, so you understand some of the conditions you have when using Volaris. So let me just show you here. So what you do is you go to this Annual Pass website. That's also where you buy it if you are considering to buy it and all. And then when you get here, you just go and log in. When you get here, then you either choose domestic or international flight. So let's just say the international flight, the one I've done many times, Mexico City, Los Angeles. So we go here, international, and then we take Mexico City, and then we put in Los Angeles. See here, the next flight that we have as an option is today. So it's a flight at 7:45 tonight, and this one is 2,213 pesos. Let's have a look if you can book Sunday. Also Sunday you can book, and Monday and Tuesday. So this time is pretty good. There is full flexibility here, but again, you can see you can only book Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Not further than that because of the 72-hour rule. So this is something to really be aware of before you buy the annual pass. But then let's have a look and see if we could book the same flights from Los Angeles to Mexico City, because these flights are a lot cheaper. For some reason, the taxes are different, but also there's a lot less flights, so a lot less seats. So let's have a look if it's possible with the same. So then we take here Los Angeles, Mexico City. So now we have a look here at the flights for Los Angeles to Mexico City. At Los Angeles, Mexico City. So Saturday is not really possible because the flight is at midnight. So technically there's no flight for Saturday. It's for Sunday because it's tonight at 1 a.m. So if we have here a look here at Sunday, we can see there is a flight. It's 619 pesos, so a lot cheaper. And let's have a look at Monday if that's also an option. Also Monday is an option, and also Tuesday is an option. But not always the scenario. Sometimes and then basically you just go ahead and you can book the flight, and then you'll get a normal order confirmation like if it was any other flight. So that's pretty much how it works with the booking of this. Now in this example, it was actually possible to book all the days, both Mexico City, Los Angeles, and Los Angeles, Mexico City. But sometimes this is not possible, especially when it's from Los Angeles to Mexico City. And this is maybe also the scenario if you book a flight from Miami to Mexico City, or many other different scenarios. So this is just something to be aware of, that you can't always find the flights, even though they actually have a flight, but maybe they didn't allocate any seats for the annual pass. I'll just show you here with the domestic flights how it works with the 24 hours. So now we try Mexico City, Oaxaca. So let's have a look at that. So we can see there's no flights today, and then the only other option is Sunday, so tomorrow, because it's the 24 hours. And then we see there's a flight at 7 a.m. that is a 1-hour flight and all, so it is possible. So you can see that if it's international flights, it's 72 hours. If it's the domestic ones, it's only 24 hours. So you need to really know that this is gonna work for you, that you have this flexibility. Sometimes you cannot find a flight. That have happened to me a few times, and this is just part of having this membership, that you know. Sometimes you need to have more flexibility, and if you're a person, then this pass is not for you. But if you have a flexible lifestyle, you're an entrepreneur, you have a nomad life, or you commute a lot and it's not important if you go back Monday or Tuesday, then this can be a really great option for you. So is the airline Volaris a good airline? Well, I would say it's actually okay. I mean, it is a budget airline, so you shouldn't expect too much. It's not gonna be anything fancy. There's not gonna be served anything on the flights, but if you just need to commute from A to B, it's fine. I didn't really have any problems with Volaris. There was only one time where there was a 10-hour delay, but this was because of the weather, so I don't think it was really their fault. So in general, I think that things have been fine. and I don't think they are like super strict, or they've been like, sometimes I put maybe a little bit too many things in my backpack or had a bit of extra things, that they were kind of relaxed with it. So I think actually Volaris is a good airline for being a budget airline, so you shouldn't really have that as a concern. But of course there's other airlines that have more service and all that, but you also have to pay for that. So my take on Volaris, I think it's completely fine airline. All the bookings with getting the flight and all works fine. Every time I had a question on, things have been okay. So there's no for me with the Volaris airline. For my stake, I think I'll renew this. I think I'm gonna use it again next year. Maybe I don't have to commute as much between Mexico City and Los Angeles, but I think still it's a great way to get around. I know I need to go to Los Angeles, let's say 5 times as a minimum. I know I'm gonna also travel around in Mexico City. Maybe I want to go to Latin America, because you can also take flights to different places in Latin America. So there's like a lot of great things having this pass if you are having this flexible lifestyle. So for me, I think I'll renew it, and I still got like another 3-4 weeks left of this pass. So I think I'm gonna be another 2 flights maybe. So I'm actually gonna save even more money. So maybe in total it's actually gonna be more like 1,100 I'm gonna save in total on having this pass. So I really recommend you getting this pass if you're a person that have a somewhat similar lifestyle as me and need to commute and travel a lot. Then it can make a lot of sense. I hope you like this video. I added all the links in the description, both to the Volaris Annual Pass and also other things I recommend. For example, the Saily eSIM, which you can use all over the world and have helped me so much, and I'm gonna talk more about in one of the next videos. Please hit the subscribe button. This would help me so much. Then I can continue making videos like this with travel hacks, personal finance, entrepreneurship, and other things in this space. That would be a huge help. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.